Man, you come straight out of a comic. And then one final segment before we get out of here. It's just some things that I saw online from comments for people and stuff. And so I wanted to just get your quick opinion and answer on these three. So a comment that was made about the Doomsday trailer and now is that Marvel is desperate.
What's wrong with that? So here's the thing. I don't look at desperation in, all right, we just like doing whatever. I look at more of the desperation of Marvel knows what they built. They remember the highs. And I feel like Kevin Feige is a person, the reason why the first few phases went so good and why it was so praised is that Kevin Feige, who started in the Fox universe, was, like I said, and did those X-Men, he saw what should have been. And he was one of us. And then he did it. And then they gave him them helms. And he put Marvel on his back and gave us, you know what I'm saying, what was the high. And I feel like Kevin Feige is also a person that's going to listen and see the criticism. And he probably was like, fuck. All right, yes, I am desperate to get back to the heights of where we was at when I was in the good grace. And to me, I'd rather my director have that desperation of I want to get back in that good graces with y'all. Right? Like I said, this doesn't seem like it's just a cash grab. It does seem like Kevin Feige and his team over there was like, we need to get this back on track because we was cooking for a while and then Disney stepped in and we had to meet quota and it kind of derailed us. So yes, I am desperate to get back to where we're at. So I'm okay with that. I get it. Like they try to say it as a dig, but for me, I look at it as, yes, I want you to be desperate to win us back.
Dion?
No, that was just said so perfectly. I don't know what else I can add because I don't see the desperation either. I saw it as like, hey, we're going to get back on track with this thing. We're going to pull those fans back in. We're going to pull the casual fan back in. We're going to pull some new ones back in. If they said you can just jump into this one, that's going to make people want to go back and watch the 38 other movies before this one, right? So, yeah, I think, again, we've given, like, again, good graces for me. It's for them. Like, it's like, you've done so much. You've done so good. Yes, you stumbled. You can pick it back up. I think this is the perfect way to pick it back up with a really good storyline because he had to pivot because of all the Kang stuff. So if you understand that, obviously we got to figure it out and do something else. So, I do said it perfectly.
Okay. Well, then I'll throw the second comment to you because I'm in agreement. I don't really have nothing else to add when it's well perfectly said like Deuce did. So to you, though, I will throw it as a comment was thrown out that Deuce has said that Loki could be Chris Evans.
I also said it too. I said it on Wednesday too. I just want to put that out there.
Well, on here it was said. Okay, both of y'all said it. Okay, both of y'all are on the line of create. Y'all can fight for it if you want to share. It's up to you. You know, create your own doomsday based on it. For this one, Chris Evans is Mephisto.
Hey, when it gets to like the magic stuff a little bit, that's not like my forte for Marvel. But I will say we did get him in Ironheart. Mm-hmm. So,
and what does Ironheart have to do with magic and technology? What is Doom centered around? Magic and technology. And also, too, remember, Mephisto has Doom's mother, if they're using that in this version.
See, we don't know yet. We don't know.
We don't know
sure yet.
But Chris Evans being Mephisto.
I'm not against that idea. Only if, like I said, within this movie they really do continue with like Sacha Baron Cohen setting them up, and they do I was gonna say Iron Fist, but Ironheart tie-in, because like I said, I did like Ironheart, and I thought that they set up Mephisto very, very well. And I thought, like I said, you know, even with like how it ended, and it kind of got like I'm still here for that. So like if they're using that, and that's also gonna lead me to knowing that our Ironheart is also still within our future, then I'm okay with that. I still lean more on the Loki side. But like as of right now, there hasn't been any setup. But it does make sense. Like I said, magic and saying technology. I can see them working that in, but they would just have to establish that within this movie then a little bit more.
I'm more on the Loki side with it, especially from the scene that we saw. I do still think that is Loki here, like y'all said, but I don't necessarily rule out that somewhere lurking around here is Mephisto.
Yeah,
it makes sense now.
Yeah, it makes sense, and I can see like a version walking around that he's playing Chris Evans, and then it's no longer doing that. You find out he's Mephisto. But I think in that particular scene, though, what if Cap is dead?
Well, technically, he should. He's old. He should have been dead.
No, but think about what if Doom killed him already? And we just have different variations of a Chris Evans running around, and none of them are Cap.
Well, the last iteration of Chris Evans we saw wasn't Cap. He was Human Torch.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
but just if you think about it, like imagine Doomsday all being none of those are Chris Evans that we know.
But you know what? See, this is why I say Deadpool. This is why I say Deadpool is underrated, because then you need Deadpool in this movie. So then when Deadpool sees it, and then you have that moment, Deadpool's like, "All right, which one are you?" And then he's another one. He's like, "Bro, where is Cap at? I wanted Cap. When do I get Cap? I thought I had him, and then it was Human Torch. I thought I had Cap now, and now you somebody like, when do I get?
Y'all are all getting the same paycheck. Why we can't just get the right one?
Right? So,
where is America's ass? That's
right,
the one I want.
See, that's why, like I said, Deadpool is underrated because you have moments like that where you could.
That'd be a good bit, man. That'd be a good bit.
That's why I put Deadpool in that end credit scene, like directed. That's why I was like, yo. Deadpool gotta be a part of this. Gotta be a part of this. And him saying I'm an Avenger now, and he calls somebody. They're like, "Who are you talking to?" Cable. Hey, guess who's an Avenger now? Suck it. He just hangs out. He'll be like, "Don't worry, you'll see a different version of him in the movie later on." Position. Just go back to it.
You know what? You have to believe. Okay, think about this for a second. Would that be a jarring thing to happen in an Avengers movie?
Nope.
That you think about that now. It's a wild concept to be like, all this series is in an Avenger movie, and this clown is just over here talking to us.
But you gonna have that anyway. You gonna have that anyway.
They quip all the time.
Yeah, they quip all the time. So like, it's
but breaking that wall and like talking to us like you just did, like that would. In an Avengers movie,
but that's why you do it. That's why you do it as a mid credit or end credit. You do it as a you have that moment like to where
But also too, you're dealing with the multiverse. So who's to say anybody even says anything about it or harp on it, or even too like they don't get it. Like Stranger's Day, and it's like, who are you talking to right now? Oh, I'm just talking to the audience right there. You're able to see through different multiverses? No, you butt fucking clown. No. It's just, what? Let's just move on from it.
Matter of fact, you know what? To Dion's point, that's the opening sequence. Opening sequence is a conversation between Deadpool and Loki. Because then you get the lightness, you get the banter out the way. Because then, like I said, Deadpool gonna have to get the fuck up out of there, and then and then that's how you end. You put a button on that. Because then at the end, and then when you do the end or mid credit, it's like Deadpool informing somebody like, "No, I need to be an Avenger because Doom." Like you have that moment.
I can definitely see it. Because remember too, we still get a Thor's dying. Thor's gonna die. But remember they was
crying in his arms, wasn't he?
Yeah, why is Thor hugging me? Thor has long hair. So either they go to the past or they go to the death. That was a different Thor than the one they show in Doomsday.
Yep.
So unless they go in time or something, what if they have Deadpool during the time when it was the Dark Elves and it's that scene?
Well, like I said, because like I said, remember that, like I said, Deadpool saw it. So that's why the conversation between him and Loki. He's like, "Hey, no, I know what's going to happen. Let me tell you.
That might be what happened. Like instead of Loki dying right there in the Dark Elves thing, is Deadpool right there. Instead,
he's trying to. Matter of fact, Deadpool is probably the one who knows about Doom. He's trying to warn Loki. Oh, I know what's going to happen, and Doom comes like, shit, I'm too late.
I can also see him being held captive in Secret World because he knows how to do all of that stuff. Like I can see Doom keeping him prisoner. Like, nah, can't let you out. You gonna mess up everything. Oh, imagine if they go try to find like Reed and break him out, and then across from the cell is Deadpool.
Like, hey, me too.
You're like, hey, it's just your friendly neighborhood Deadpool here. Wait, that's not my line. It's Deadpool here. Could use it. Yo, Deadpool is gonna be dope with that.
Yeah.
And then the last one, and I'll throw it to you, Deuce. Wolverine should lead the Avengers.
Not this iteration. So I do like my favorite Avengers team does include Wolverine, like from the comics and everything. I do believe that once we finish out this and everything, and we establish like the new X-Men and everything like that, we're probably going to establish like who's going to be the outside of the new X-Men, like who's going to be next in Marvel and like what the new stories we're going to tell. And I do believe, I do hope Wolverine, if not a leader, is a pivotal part in that Avengers team. So I think that the next iteration Avengers team should have a Wolverine on there.
Yeah, I can see him leading the champions into becoming full-fledged.
Okay, man. There it is.
But yeah, I can see that if you're going to lead a variation of it.
Yeah.
But I would like to see. I like to see that in the capacity of like they have something for them.
Yeah.
And then to be able to move on the torch at one point. Deanna, what about you with that statement? Wolverine should lead the Avengers.
Yeah, I definitely agree again. Just because not this variation, and we're not. I know they make a joke of like Hugh Jackman until he's 90.
Yeah,
but is there any chance we get like when we do recast the X-Men and or whatever, there's a new Wolverine too?
I would hope so, because I know a lot of people lean on like Wolverine never ages, so Hugh Jackman can technically still be Wolverine, but I don't know. I like Hugh Jackman played Wolverine for so long, and I just feel like getting my original statement. If we're keeping certain people from the past, then it's gonna always have that lingering what if, or maybe this person can come back. This very like I feel like if we're gonna do a new X-Men, let's do a full new X-Men. Like let's.
Well, that gives it to the point where I don't think you're gonna start the X-Men where you have Wolverine. I think you do start off at the beginning where you don't get introduced to it. I think you do it. We establish more of Xavier, establishing the X-Men, but also seeing the relationship between him and Magneto. And you have more of the Brotherhood being shown too, and them having established characters and the back and forth between these people now. I don't think you really need to recast Wolverine for quite some time because you've already talked about him in the MCU and She-Hulk. When you see the news article, like a man with metal claws was seen in a bar fight. So we know there's a version of him walking around somewhere. Isn't Hugh Jackman. Yeah. But I think like once Hugh has his swan song in the MCU, you can let that linger a bit before you cast the Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's why I said I kind of agree with that. With even before you establish the full Avengers, like I said, we're leaning in on the mutant saga. Let's lean in on the mutant saga. Let's let time pass so that way we can separate the actors from the characters, and then once we start trickling in the new characters and everything, we can kind of start seeing, a new threat that causes a new team of Avengers to form and everything like that. Like we can get into all that. I feel like these next few years, maybe even half a decade or even a full decade, I'm just like, let's focus on the mutants. Let's focus on that. Let's get away from the Avengers so that way we can separate those actors from those characters.
And then what's crazy is what I noticed too with that. And again, this may be me reaching, but I was like, damn, I really wanted because I think we talked about that, Deuce, about like how somehow X-Men 97 gets warped.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
Stuff, but I was like, damn, they kind of knocked that out because technically X-Men 97 is the Fox X-Men.
Yeah.
already established that in Logan because their Logan is from that same universe that dies. And so I'm just like, damn. And they showed comic books and stuff. I'm like, I bet you that 97 cartoon is one of the ones. And I'm like, fuck. And then now they gave Cyclops his real outfit. I'm like,
yeah, man.
Because I get you have to cast younger people to build the franchise for the next 10 years. Mm-hmm. Man, I need the adult version of these fucking people, like how you got 97, man. That just make them live action.
And who's to say James Marsden can't still play Cyclops, man? He still looks young enough.
Or who's a white boy right now that could play that and still give that type of integrity?
I don't know off top, man.
I don't either off the top of my head. That's not that's still kind of young. Because I still wish Austin Butler would have been Gambit. That guy that played Elvis. I really wish he'd have been Gambit.
He still can't shake that Elvis voice sometimes.
No, he still can't. That shit is crazy. But
I like him, but
yeah, he could have played a good one. But it was like I want like their generation, everybody who's mid 20s look young. Like they look like babies, or they look like two old adults and stuff. I'm just like, man, I need my Cyclops 6'2", Jack. Just mature. Yeah, mature, bro. Yeah. Not like kids, man. I want a mature X-Men. Like they ain't got to be in their 30s or nothing. But I'm like, man, bro. When I see them, I'm like, yo, they look grown. I don't want babies. Like that's what I feel like failed when they did the First Class reboot. And I was like, all right, man, I like it, but when they got to what I think Dark Phoenix, and they were kind of like in the 80s, and they were in the mall and stuff. I'm like, they look like kids, bro. Yeah. They kids, they students. I'm like, nah, man. I want motherfuckers who I ain't gotta ask them for their driver's license. I know how old you are. Nigga, Cyclops, you look like you. You look like you got a job. You look like you just came from work.
Yeah, I agree. They need to be older, man. Yeah. I hope that they end up being just adults, all of them. Let's roll with that.
That's why I don't want Sadie Sink to be Jean Grey.
Like I said, you got to think that's what I hope they continue to do. Like what we've been seeing a lot of directors do is tell which comic books that they're using to tell the story. Like once we get into the Mutant Saga, I need them to really establish what Mutant Saga storyline that they're following. Because like I said, if the Fox universe essentially did what like the original X-Men animated story, like they try to tell that storyline a little bit and everything like that, and it's just like, yeah, I don't want to revisit that. We have already told it multiple times. There's a lot, like I said, there is a lot of grown stories, X-Men storylines that you can tell, and still kind of get that, So it's like, just tell us which comics that are, and then we can do that research, or we can use it. But yeah, I do agree that we can give more grown X-Men.
Yeah, man. It makes Sadie Sink either Scarlet Witch or Firestar. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, she ain't Jean Grey. She ain't. Ain't no way. Ain't no way I'm introducing Jean Grey in that movie, man.
That's what I'm saying. And as a villain, like that don't make no sense.
I could be wrong next week. I could be wrong by this time next week.
Oh yeah.
But I'm sending 10 toes down today.
Same. I'm doing the exact same thing, bro. She the Firestar or Scarlet Witch, but she ain't Jean Grey. That's my reach, but yeah, I don't think it's Jean Grey.
I just feel like the only reason why I feel like it's not Firestar, because I feel like that character is not big enough to have so much secrecy. It's the secrecy that leads me to Jean Grey.
But I think people doing it is what led to the secrecy of it. That's what I think. That's what I feel like. I was like, oh, well, everybody's clamoring now. We might as well keep it a secret and not say nothing.
But here's the thing. This is where I'm like, I give Kevin Feige and their team a little bit more grace, because I feel like with the Ralph Boner situation, they learned that like we can't trick people like that. Like people was upset that that Evan Peters was not Quicksilver. And that bait and switch, it was like they was all in. They thought it was going to be a hilarious joke, and they realized very quickly the fan base was like, "No, that's not a joke that we like." And I feel like
but he dressed like him, though. That's the thing, though. He dressed like him. and you look like Quicksilver. Like,
no, I know
you
that.
played this guy,
right? So, but I feel like they would like even like they asked Feige. They was like, hey, y'all, you gonna be announcing Damson Idris as T'Challa? He was like, no. I feel like he's at a point now where he's like, I'm gonna give y'all straight answers because we learned our lessons.
Yeah.
So I feel like,
but they also be lying though.
They do.
They also be lying.
I feel like if they would have caught wind, they're like, hey, people think that this is Jean Grey, and if it wasn't Jean Grey, they're like, let's not lean into this. Let's kill that noise now.
But you got to think about it. When they say no, and then that happened to be right, we've gotten a lot more of that, and we continuously get that throughout the time. Because remember, Charlie Cox said he wasn't in Spider-Man.
That is true,
and he was in it. Yeah, caught a whole brick and everything. Yeah.
But see, those are happy surprises. Not if not.
But I'm saying
is part of the cast. Like her name is top credits. You know what I mean? I get what Deuce is saying, but I don't think I give you an X-Men in that movie. I don't. I just don't feel like that's the point to be like, here's Jean Grey in a Spider-Man Sony movie.
But here's my thing with that too. Of Firestar also makes sense because that is a great gateway to mutants. Because remember, her and Bobby are the reason why Spider-Man eventually goes to the X-Mansion.
True.
And then imagine us finding out that there's a Charles Xavier in 616. Then who is it?
I hear you on that. I just still feel like there's going to be a lot of people who are like, well, who the hell is Firestar now?
Hey man, you got but again too, look at the villains he's facing. Don't nobody know who Boomerang is. It's like, I thought he was in DC. It's like, who is this dude he fighting? Who is Reflector? Like remember, we know
Spider-Man and Spider-Man and Friends on I think
Spider-Man
it's on
is Amazing Friends. Yes.
Yeah. I think so. That's going to be an uptick in watches as soon as Firestar. That's going to be front page of Disney Plus when you go on it. The more it's just running like that.
Look how big like Spider-Man's apartment is. There's no way he's gonna continue to afford that by himself. I'm just saying,
we'll see, man. We're days away.
We'll see. We're
days away, man. But listen, man, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode of Shroud of a Comic Book. As you can see, when we get together, we start talking Marvel, start talking DC. Like, I don't even like for the last 30 minutes, I don't even think we mentioned Doomsday. We just switched over to X-Men, man. But I know these two incredible hard workers, man, they got to get back to their regular lives, which is doing amazing creative stuff. So I don't want to hold y'all up too much longer. So again, thank you for checking out this episode. Please let us know in the comments below what you feel about the Doomsday trailer. Give us your craziest hot takes. Let us know if you were in the director's seat, what would be your opening sequence? Who would die? What would be your end credit? Also, give us someone who we didn't mention in here that you think is overrated, rated, or underrated. But make sure while you're doing that, you hit the like button, you hit the subscribe on not only the Arcade Tokens YouTube channel, the Will Pharaoh YouTube channel, the SOACB YouTube channel, and as well as our Twitch channels, because we do go live. We will be playing video games. You're going to see some of that between me and Dion real soon. And then, of course, make sure that you check out Deuce's Geek Set podcast along with the entire crew, Bacardi, Dig, Hippie, everybody. I know I'm forgetting folks. This man got a whole X-Men squad now. It was just the three of them. Now he was like, no, this man had just been recruiting. Yeah. So make sure you check them out every Sunday. They are live with the Geek Set podcast. Go over and see some of their footage from DreamCon. With
I just want to throw it out there, man. I felt like this felt like a Comic-Con for us because we got to announce something that was late breaking and everything, but we have officially partnered with Carl Jones and Love Jones Martian Blueberries animation studio, and we're bringing y'all the Black Geek documentary. So I'm excited about that partnership, man. I'm very excited about that.
Yes, indeed. Believe me, he's been working very hard. Look, keep saying him. They have been working
to me, my ex
on this dark because I met him, so it's like I'll be like, oh, that's the face of Geek Set. But I'm like, then I met Bacardi and I met Dig, and I'm like, yo, let me stop saying it.
You met Trippy, I think the only one.
I was like, all of them contribute very much to making the Geek Set thing happen. So I got to make sure I say we and not he when it comes to it. All-Star fandom is definitely he. Okay, that's Dion's baby, and just Jen and Doc happen to be the other two pieces that make it work, man. But please let them know though some of the dope stuff that you have just previously had that they can go check out right now.
Yeah, we just had Guy Augustini's Voice of Sunspot on. So it was a dope to sort of hear his story from being like a tennis, almost like on his way to Wimbledon to a degree. And then he sidesteps and goes film and animation and voice acting and all that stuff. So go check that out. That one's doing really good. We're live every Wednesday. We're also Fandom Prime. We go over all the stuff. It's going to be a lot to go over next week with all the stuff that's happening with San Diego Comic-Con. We'll look at trailers, react, and have some fun there too. And we'll have reviews next week for Spider-Man when it drops. So every week we at least put out at least 3 pieces of content throughout that week. But yeah, All-Star Fandom on YouTube, All-Star Fandom Show on Instagram and TikTok.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So make sure that y'all check that out. We appreciate it.
And we're going to be at Dragon Con. We have a panel at Dragon Con this year. So we'll be there. Yeah. So we have a panel at Dragon Con on Thursday night to start it off. And then we're doing media for the rest of the week there too. Got media access. Not sure how, but hey, man, God works. So
all the work you made, don't do that. All the work you be doing.
Right.
You got that media pass, man. Hey.
So it's going to be a fun week, a fun Labor Day weekend doing that.
Yes, indeed, man. So be sure to go over there, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, follow, all the things that you need to do for their social platforms, YouTube and their Twitch, man. It cannot be done without you. A community cannot be created if y'all are not participating. So please make sure you support them. And then make sure you support my ass. I always know I be telling them, hey, come support me. Because, nigga, I do all this shit by myself. Arcade, Travel, Comic Book, Kayfabe, Will Pharaoh, the Twitches, everything. Hey, this shit is just me. I want a team, too. So hit all of that stuff for my stuff as well so I can make my X team and go, to me, my niggas. Okay.